Hey, this is kind of interesting. Here's another of these very few examples where the former president Donald Trump seems to concede that he did lose the 2020 election, although he kind of does it with a caveat. There's a very interesting interview in The Atlantic, and it's written about in The Guardian, and we're going to link to both. There's the Atlantic article, What I Learned When Trump Tried to Correct the Record by Julian Sellizer. This is from a couple days ago. And then there's also an interesting article in The Guardian as well. I didn't win the election, Trump admits defeat in session with historians. Trump also said Iran, China, and South Korea were happy Biden won, adding that the election was rigged and lost. Donald Trump has admitted he did not win the 2020 election. I didn't win the election, he said. The admission came in a video interview with a panel of historians convened by Julian Sellizer, a Princeton professor and editor of the presidency of Donald Trump. The interview was published earlier this week by The Atlantic. Describing his attempts to make South Korea pay more for U.S. military assistance, Trump said Moon Jae-in, the South Korean president, was among the happiest world leaders after the 2020 election put Joe Biden in the White House. By not winning the election, Trump said, he was the happiest man, I would say, in order. Iran was the happiest. Trump also said the election was rigged and lost. Trump's refusal to accept defeat by Biden provoked attempts to overturn results in key states, as we know. Trump was impeached a second time. Trump remains free to run for the White House again in 2024, which he has repeatedly hinted he would do. Writing for The Atlantic, Zelizer said Trump was the one who had decided to reach out to a group of professional historians so that we produce an accurate book. Trump seemed to want the approval of historians without any understanding of how historians gather evidence or render judgments. So it's always with a caveat. And at this point, we understand there is this double standard, right? If you won, how could you run again? But I guess it's you can't serve more than 2 terms. So even though he won 2020, he can run again. But he didn't win because it was rigged and so he lost. But he should have won. It's this endless loop of logic. What I think is really interesting about this is that Trump is more regularly now saying things like, it was lost, it was rigged, but we did lose to some degree. And for a lot of people on the right who are committed to this as an ideology, they're not committed to it as a fact. We've said before that for some Trumpists, they literally believe Trump won. And we've seen interviews with them at Trump rallies. They seem genuine when they say Trump really won. It was stolen. Trump actually won. He got more votes in more states. He had more electoral votes. He won. For other Trumpists, it's what you say to show that you're on the right team, that you're still on the team. And they may not literally believe that Donald Trump got more votes, should have been president, and the election was stolen. But you say it to signal an allegiance to Donald Trump. And I've spoken before about how for many of these folks, they see themselves as being in a war. And they see it sort of like a holy war. And when you're at war, you sort of say or do what you have to do, even if it's not honest, because of it being a means to an end. And that, listen, even if we take some casualties, it's okay because it's a necessary war or whatever the case may be. In some sense, that is what this statement, Trump won, has become for many of them. And even though Trump has increasingly said, okay, well, I lost, but it was rigged or whatever, remember when we didn't find weapons of mass destruction in Iraq? Despite George W. Bush and the late Colin Powell and others telling us they're there, they weren't there. We didn't find them. And even after that was an undeniable fact, many Bush supporters kept saying we did find them. Some of them probably thought that we did, much like now some Trumpists probably believe Trump did win. But on the other hand, for some of them, it was just something that you say. And this is something that it's a phenomena that exists in politics that's bigger than Trump. The particular lies right now are associated with Trump, but it's no surprise. People do this you can call it cognitive dissonance. You can call it magical thinking. There's a lot of different things that you can call it, but don't expect it to go away, even if Trump more consistently concedes that he did lose. It wasn't fair, but he did lose, as he recently did once again. Science has shown us that lowering your body temperature at night improves sleep in many ways. Our sponsor, Chili Sleep, creates systems that cool down your bed, promoting deeper, higher quality sleep. It also just feels great. I use it at home. I'd recommend it to anyone, and I've recommended it to some friends who now use it as well. Chili Sleep's product, the Ooler, the Cube, and the Dock Pro, they're all water-based, temperature-controlled pads that fit onto your existing mattress. You can keep your bed as low as 55 degrees, as hot as 115 degrees. I like 60. Their new Dock Pro sleep system has double the cooling power of other models, 5 times the cooling contact, whisper quiet. You can control it with your phone. It's awesome. With Chili Sleep, there's no more feeling hot at night, no more sweating. Cooling your bed down like this is amazing. You really have to try it for yourself. When you go to chilisleep.com/Pacman, you'll get 30% off the Ooler and Cube sleep systems and 10% off the new Dock Pro. This offer is only for my audience. The link is down below.